so that we can take the
Oh,
poem later. Is it
okay,
okay?
madam. Uh,
Or,
okay, madam. Okay, I'll share my screen.
or maybe I'll just speak then in that case. Will it be okay?
Okay, madam. No problem.
Yeah. So the first question which arises in
Can
everyone's
please
mind.
stop your screen sharing? Madam is present. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Continue, please.
Yeah. So the first question which always comes in anyone's mind is that how did you compose the poem? So it was like I was just standing in front of my bedroom balcony, and I was just peeping outside when I saw, because I am a great observer. I always observe things, even if I'm in an airport waiting for someone for the flight, or if I'm in a hospital waiting for my turn. I always make it a point to observe people, and this came very handy to me because that day when I was just watching through the window, I could see people just passing by, and there was a constant flow of people of all ages with their own story, and each one was moving with their own purpose. And that morning, I felt it sort of stirred in me some empathy and curiosity about the invisible struggles that everyone has their own dreams, and everyone thinks about their own destination. So that morning, that different faces and moods felt like a living poem to me just wrote. So that was the first thing I should tell about it, yeah, how the poem was composed. Then, speaking about the metaphor that is being referred there, it became a natural metaphor for the various perspectives and reflections of people who were passing by that time. It was like a perfect image. Yeah, and the window pane, it served both as a barrier as well as a reflection for me, because from a participant's point of view, you could just think about their life. It served as a window. The window frame served as a look through, a peep through of different ages of life, and their thinkings, their thought process, whatever was coming in their mind. For example, if we think about the woman who was just crossing by, so she must have come from her home. She is now going to her workplace where she has to work. So in that case, she must have worked at home doing her household chores, packed her tiffin, packed the children tiffin, and then uh, going back to the place where she's going to work. And then she's thinking about the work that she has to perform at that place. So maybe it was her journey. So in the same way, when we think about the student, he was that is a learning phase for him. So he's thinking about the games that he's going to play, the timetables or the periods that are going to happen in his school. So that way, that is life, and it was very simple, looking out of the window and seeing people watching. So I became just an observer, peeking and peeping at people's life through the glass. So I was just collecting different types of journey, which was coming very vivid and alive for in the case of the student, even as a jogger, as an elderly man that was passing by. So despite all these differences, all are bound by the passage of time. I mean, people walking different paths, but they are all sharing the same urgency, that is to move forward. Everyone is moving forward, whether it is a small child, a jogger, or an elderly man. So, and if you talk about the title, why did I choose that title? It was very simple. I was just looking through the window and I was thinking about other people's journey. So in that case, I felt that looking through the or peeping through the window was the right title that should come into it. That came to my mind, and so I gave the title "Peeping Through the Window" because I was observing different journey and analyzing it on my own way. So the message that I could give from the poem was that if as a reader, if you pause, if you remember that everyone is separate, everyone is different. Whether we are rushing towards our work, we are learning, we are struggling, or we are resting, we carry our own dreams and our own battles, our own hopes and aspirations, and different destinations, yet different destinations. So we should be more compassionate and reflective about others' lives that we surround or we are surrounded by, and that we should always have that sense of empathy and that sense of shared humanity in us. And if this is done, I think the work is done. I feel that my poem would be a great inspiration for others if they feel that at least we, by observing others' life, we also inculcate those things, those ideas, those messages, those feeling of uh, empathy in us, that compassionate feeling. So I feel my work is done. I hope this is more than enough.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was really very interesting to have the first-hand expression from the poetess herself. Thank you so much. The
Thank
session will be
you.
conducted by Dr. Kanchan Joshi, ma'am. Madam is working as an assistant professor, Department of English at Sri Niketan College of Arts and Commerce, Nagpur. Madam is a coordinator of IQSC. She has quite a few research articles published in national and international journals to her credit. She has also organized various academic, cultural, and social events and involved in different cells and committees in her college. She takes keen interest in developing students' language skills. She considers herself as an ardent learner and is continuously involved in the novel cause of knowledge and knowledge sharing. With great honor, I invite Dr. Kanchan Joshi, Madam, to deal with a presentation on the topic Peeping Through the Window by Dr. Usha Sakure. Welcome to you, ma'am. Over to you.
Madam, you're muted. Kindly unmute yourself.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to congratulate all the organizers of this online lecture series for BA Semester 3 English Language. Students will definitely get benefited with this online series. And I extend my gratitude to Dr. Urmila Dabir Madam, Principal of Rajkumar Keval Ramani Kanya Mahavidyalaya. I thank Dr. Usha Sakure Madam, Principal of Manohar Rao Kamble Mahavidyalaya. I am grateful to Dr. Swapnil Dahat, Principal at Kesrimal Porwal College, and Dr. Lokchand Jadhav, Principal, Mahatma Gandhi Arts and Commerce College, for giving me this opportunity to interact with the students. Thank you. I'll share my screen. Is it visible, madam?
Yes, madam.
Okay. So today, good morning, everyone. Today, I am going to deal with the poem Peeping Through the Window, written by Dr. Usha Sakure Madam, which is prescribed for BA third semester English language for paper 6. First of all, we will see about the poet, as it happens rarely that we can interact or we can see the poet with our own eyes while reading the poem. But this time we have listened to the poet and her opinion and how she has written the poem and how she has thought of this topic and theme as well. So first, I would like to tell about the poet. Dr. Usha Sakure Madam, she is working as a principal and professor in Manohar Rao Kamble Mahavidyalaya, Nagpur. She has got 36 years of teaching experience. She holds PhD on Anita Desai, and she has done MBA in Educational Administration from prestigious college, that is Symbiosis, Pune. She is a prolific scholar, she is an ardent researcher, and she is a dedicated teacher and a good administrator as well. She served as ex-director of Dharampet Mahila Multi-State Cooperative Bank and Devayani International School. She is the secretary of the Central India Institute of Education and Cultural Development, working for rural education in Central India. She is on advisory board she's working as an advisory board member of Green Heaven Group of institutions and served other organizations too. She is the secretary of CLICK, which is the Shakespearean Society of Central India, and she is a co-editor of Young Junction magazine and CLICK journal, that is Inside. She actively contributes to academic bodies at the university and on national level. She is a regular contributor to the daily newspaper The Hitwaad. She is a recipient of prestigious awards like Bharat Jyoti and Savitribai Phule Awards. She has written more than 30 poems and written many articles and reviews. Now, what is there in the poem? This poem is published in Expressions of the newspaper, that is Hitwaad. The poem starts with the observation, as Madam has told, that she was standing in the gallery and she was observing. And this poem starts with the observant eye that leads to the meditative reflection. Then she started thinking about contemplating about the scene. The narrator watches four figures, that is a woman, first women, then child, then jogger, and an old man. The poem highlights everyday life and intergenerational perspective. So it highlights everyday life as it is a very usual scene. She has seen a child, a woman, a jogger, an old man. Again, there is the intergenerational perspective, like she has written, she has delineated the figures like child, jogger, and old man. These three figures are of different generations. So it suggests the intergenerational perspective as well. The stanzas portray life as a complete cycle, that is a childhood. She talks about the childhood's curiosity, eagerness, then adulthood struggles, difficulties, old age reflections, then each stage carrying its own beauty, of course, and its burdens and difficulties while leading the life. The tone of the poem is contemplative, as she is thinking, meditative, and emphatic. It is written in 4 regular quatrains. Each stanza is of 4 lines and having A, B, B rhyming scheme. The diction is very simple. It is written in a simple language and it has a universal theme, because when we read the poem, we can easily relate to it. Now she is saying windows, peeping through the window, like windows of life. So windows of life, the poet has a different lens to look at the things. So she is looking at the life with her own lens. She has caught through the glass. She has caught through the glass the different things, the different figures, and it reveals the silent stories of everyday souls. So every figure tells their own stories of their own stories, and all these figures are common people. So each frame is a glimpse into the universal human journey of learning, because child is trying to learn, woman is also trying to do something, she is also learning from the life, striving hard, she is trying to find out the meaning from it. So poet has her own lens to look at the things, and all these figures reveal their stories, as all these figures are all common people, and they are striving hard to find out the meaning in life. Then this poem starts with the golden light, like it is in the morning. The scene is in the morning. So when the person who is looking through the window, she is looking through the window in the morning with the golden light. So a glimpse through a window pane, her steady pace in the morning sun. So she is looking through the window pane. She is observing the when the world awakens, when the world starts working. So in the morning's quiet colors, that is a golden light, it is a new beginning for every figure, for the women, for the child, and for the old man as well. So it is the new beginning of the life. With each day, we start with the new hope, with the new ideas. So we start our life with the new hope and with the new difficulties as well. So it is a glimpse through the window pane, and she is looking at the women with her steady pace in the morning sun. She is looking at the women who is following her routine. She started her routine in the morning. The very first stanza starts with, I peep through the window to see her on the run, a woman hurrying to her workplace in the morning sun. So here the speaker is observing, or the narrator is observing a woman outside, catching a glimpse of her as she hurries past. She is continuously on her toes. She is working because she wants to go to her workplace. She suggests a moment of curiosity and admiration. So carries aspirations, she carries ambition within herself. So her walk or her approach to life is not random, but she wants to do something. She wants to go where she wants to go. She wants to achieve what she wants to. She wants to achieve what she has dreamt of. So the speaker is observing a woman who is working, who is trying to finish it off her daily chores. So she is in hurry, and she suggests this moment of curiosity and as well as admiration. She is heading towards the work during the early part of the morning, and it highlights her commitment towards her work, as she is also working in her routine in the glow of new morning. So a woman is hurrying to her workplace. So she has a desire, she has ambition to do something after going to her workplace. So she has that desire and hope for the new day. With dreams, like first two lines, I peep through the window to see her on the run, a woman hurrying to her workplace in the morning sun. With dreams in her heart and purpose in her stride, she wishes to conquer each day in life's bustling tide. So she has purpose in her every walk, in her every step. With dreams in her heart, she has dreams, she has hope, she has goals, she has ambition, she has purpose. And that's why she has to go outside and work. She has to accomplish her duties, and she wishes to conquer each day. She has to make every single day. She has to fulfill her desires. She has to prove her abilities, and she has to conquer each day in life's bustling. She has that inner drive in herself, which motivates her as she is fueled with her ambition, and it motivates her to work hard and to reach to her destination. And routine suggests her daily conquest because she has to complete her household chores, she has to fight with her daily routine, and she has to face its rhythm every day, and of course she has to reach to the office. So it is an unwavering spirit, but she never gives up. She maintains that balance and resilience. She bounces back after her work in the morning, and she shines throughout the day with her ambition, with her goal and desire and hope in her heart. As we say that in life's bustling tide, what does it mean? As you can see the picture, life is compared to a busy, ever moving ocean tide here. And we can imagine that if we are on that a big tide, which is full of chaos and very disturbing, demanding, and as it is at constant motion. So despite this overwhelming pace, despite the difficult times, she aims to rise above it, and she has to thrive, and she has to reach to up to her destination. She wants to be successful by working hard, so she doesn't care about this ever moving ocean tide, but she wants to rise above it, and she wants to be a story of a successful woman. So it paints a picture of a strong, ambitious woman who faces the fast pacing and demanding flow of life with hope. Now the second stanza, it describes the child who is going to the school. So again, the narrator looking or peeping through the window and through the glass. Through the glass, I observed a child so bright, a student with his school bag, learning delight. So here we can see that a picture of a child who is curious, who is eager to learn. Through the glass, I observe a child who is very bright, who is very enthusiastic in the morning, and who is very much motivated to go to the school and learn certain things. So this is the radiating picture, radiating the pure delight of learning. So he is very much eager, holding his school bag in his hands and clutching books like treasures. So each page promising new world to discover. So the child is expecting to discover the new world after going to the school. So a student with his school bag, learning delight, he is very happy to go to the school because he is going to explore so many new things. He considers that the school is the temple of the knowledge, and so he is very much eager to go to the school, and he is very happy. His footsteps echo with purpose. When he is walking, it echoes with purpose as he walks towards the gates of the school where the knowledge is stored, where understanding awaits for him, and to transform that curiosity into the wisdom. Where after going to the school and learning the lessons, his curiosity will of course will transform into wisdom. He will get the answers to his questions. So in his eyes we can see the flame of possibility of conquering the world. So child symbolizes hope, beginning of life's new journey. Stanza celebrates youthful eagerness, hope, and the power of education in shaping the destiny of students. Through the glass, I observed a child so bright, a student with his school bag, learning delight, eager to explore the world with books in his hands. He walks to school where knowledge will command. So, as I have already told, that the child is very happy to go to school. He is very curious to know, to learn the things, and he is very much eager to explore the world. He want to explore the new things. So he considers books as his companions because he is holding the books in his hand, and each volume carried holds promises of discovery, because those books, of course, are going to teach him so many new things. He is going to discover so many new things. New avenues will be there for him, the adventure and understandings waiting to unfold. So he goes there and he is waiting to unfold the new things with the help of the book. So knowledge commands. He walks to school where knowledge will command. In the classroom, so many pupils are there gathered, and wisdom takes root and it grows into lasting understanding. Their curious minds ask the questions and they get the answers, and wisdom takes that roots, and it grows into the lasting understanding, because their queries are fulfilled in the school and they get the new knowledge. They come to know so many new things. So it is a eager exploration, we can say. That the world is like a canvas for learning, and means the students ask so many questions. That canvas is colored with the questions and answers as well. So when they get when their curiosity is fulfilled, the questions were answered, the whole canvas is colored with their answers and wisdom as well. First figure is women, the second is child, and the third figure the poet has described is jogger, the runner's rhythm, we can see that. Now again, the observer, or you can say the poetess, looked outside. I gazed outside to find a man in his jog, pounding on the pavement through mist and fog. Pounding on the pavement is running with the strong steps forward. Here you can see the picture who is the young man who is running or jogging, you can say, who is jogging. And I gazed outside to find a man in his jog. Jogger symbolizes the perseverance in life. So he doesn't stop. He is trying to complete the whole round, and he is continuously marching forward. He is doing the jogging continuously. So despite of mist and fog ahead, he is running. I gazed outside to find a man in his jog, pounding on the pavement. So he is running with the strong footsteps through mist and fog. Mist and fog, very fine water droplets. So it becomes really difficult to jog in the water droplets. And it is an obstacle while doing the jogging. So jogger symbolizes the perseverance in life. He doesn't stop. Every step sounded like a bit as the city woke up. So every step of the jogger is like a bit. And in the morning, he starts jogging when the city awakens. So while jogging or while running, you can say, he maintains his rhythm with his footsteps and pace through the mist and fog. He doesn't stop in between. So people, what we should learn from this, the people should keep on moving. People should keep on moving, and as he maintains his rhythm, though he is sweating, he is breathing heavily, he continues his journey forward, and despite the mist and exhaustion, you can see. I gazed outside. These are the first two lines of the third stanza. I gazed outside to find a man in his job, pounding on the pavement through mist and fog. In sweat and breath, he finds his space. That is what I told you, that though he is gasping for the breath and he is exhausted because of running, though he is pushing forward himself, he is sweating, he is breathing heavily. In sweat and breath, he finds his space. Though he is breathing heavily, he is finding his pace. He is running the race. Here, running the race of life. He doesn't stop in between, because he means we should not stop in between in the difficult times of our life, but we should continue our journey with the new hope, with the fighting spirit, as life is a constant chase. So here, poet says that life is a constant chase. Life is like a race, and we have to finish that race. So here, he finds the rhythm. The jogger finds the rhythm. So the first steps break through morning's stillness. When there is a stillness, he starts jogging. His footsteps fell in rhythm. He is matching his footstep with the city's morning song. Morning song, everyone gets charged to start their work, and city awakens. So he finds the rhythm while jogging, and he starts his life race. Every day is a new race for life. So embracing the challenge. When we chase our dreams in life, we come to face so many challenges. So without getting depressed, we should accept those challenges, and we should continue our journey. We should fight with the difficulties, and we should try to reach or to fulfill our dreams and try to reach our destination. So embracing the challenge. So through the mist and fog, the jogger is walking. He continues his journey, though the obstacles are there. He made the obstacles the opportunities. So we should also convert our obstacles into the opportunities, and we should grow in our life. So life is a constant chase. Each stride, each step mirrors our life's constant chase. We are chasing our dreams throughout our life, because we have so many dreams in heart. Once we finished with one thing, after taking one box, we start dreaming of another. So this is an eternal pursuit of goals and dreams, and the person strive to become. So we strive to become something, and we should reach to our destination. Now the last image, we can see that it is the elder's silent journey. Through the window pane, I saw an elder's silent room, an old man dragging to seek a place he calls home. So it is what I said. I have already told you that it is an intergenerational perspective. We have seen the child who is very curious, very young, teenager, you can say, and dreams, with the fighting spirit. And the third figure is the elder one, who you can say, the old man. Through the window pane, now the narrator saw an elder's silent room, an old man dragging to seek a place he calls a home. He has completed his half journey, you can say more than half. So through the window pane, I saw an elder's silent room. The old man represents the struggle of growing old. See, in all the ages, struggle is constant. In all the ages, the child is also struggling to learn the new things. Again, in the young age, the young man, he is also struggling to fulfill his desires, to reach up to his destinations, and he is chasing his dreams. The women who is trying to balance his work, whose work, domestic works, and the work outside home, she is also struggling to fulfill her desires with new hope. And here the old man also represents a struggle. Struggle is constant in all the ages. So he is also struggling while growing old. He is searching for a place he belongs. He is searching his own place, his own home. It represents longing, the home where he can find the comfort, where he finds his belonging, the peace here, or the final sleep, that is death. So he appears burdened by the age and a lifelong journey. He looks like a very burdened with his age and lifelong journey, but he has to complete that journey. He has to complete this stage. Through the window pane, I saw an elder's silent roam, an old man dragging. He's pulling himself to seek that place. Of course, that place can be the final, the place after he gets, after the death he gets. So the final sleep or peace, you can say, it represents the longing for comfort, longing for peace, longing for old man dragging, pulling to seek that place he calls home, lost in memories. He is lost in his past memories with time's heavy weight. His journey is aimless, seeking an unknown gate. He lives more in the past than the present because he has lived his life. He has completed the stage of the teenager stage, the childhood stage, then the young stage. So he lived his life. Now he has reached up to that old age. So he sits and he is lost in his old good memories. He remembering the past time. He is feeling affected by the passing of time. He is sad. He is thinking. He is alone. Maybe he is fighting with his loneliness and his sadness as well. So his journey is aimless. There is uncertainty, loneliness, sometimes come with which comes with the old age. So you can say that his journey is aimless, seeking an unknown gate. The poet says that his journey is aimless. Now there is no hope. Now he does not have any dreams, but he is trying or he is waiting for that final sleep, you can say. It is uncertainty. Sorry. Uncertainty. There is an uncertainty. There is a loneliness with which comes with that old age. So he is seeking an unknown gate. It suggests the search for peace. It suggests the search of final death, final sleep, that is death, even the final rest of life. So stories through the glass, with which the narrator has seen so many figures. The first two lines, the lost in memories, he is lost in the memories with time's heavy weight. His journey is aimless, seeking an unknown gate. Peeping through life's windows, stories intervene, each with its purpose and with unique design. So, with the observer's lens, we are peeping through the life's window. We are also peeping with the narrator. We are also peeping through this life's windows, and which reveals so many moments of human experience, and each frame captures so many emotions. Each frame captures so many experiences and desires, difficulties, hope, struggles. So, peeping through life's window, so many stories. Each frame has its own story, each face has its own story. So, with the observer's lens, we are also looking through this window, and it reveals the intimate moments of human experiences. What do you mean by stories intervene? So every individual has his own story. Individual narratives weave together, and every phase has its own story, and all the stories are intertwined here. Narratives weave together, creating the rich tapestry of community, and narrators have shared the human experiences by creating this rich tapestry of the stories. So it is each with its purpose and with unique design. So each story its purpose. Each story has hope, has delight, and unique design. Each person carries their own purpose, their own rhythm, their own pace, their own beautiful ways to conquer the world as they are moving forward through the world. So, peeping through life's window, so many stories are there which are intertwined, each with its purpose. Every story has a purpose. Every story has a unique design. It has own rhythm. It has own beautiful way to conquer or to complete their race. In every phase, a tale has to be told. So every phase has its own story, and every phase has to tell their story. A diverse, hostile world of both young and old. So every person carries a hidden story. It might be of a joy, might be of a struggle, dreams, or pain, and which is reflected in their face. When we look at the faces of the people, many a times we can read the story from their faces, whether they are happy or they are sad. So it reflects on their face, and it reflects with their presence as well. So the world is vast, the world is vast and full of diversity, but it can be sometimes harsh. It can be sometimes good, motivating, and as you can say, a diverse, hostile world. So it can be harsh, it can be challenging, and people of all ages, like youth, the young people, and elder ones, are alike. They are part of this shared yet often difficult existence. We all are the part of this difficult existence. Doesn't matter in which age we are. So people of all ages are struggling. We are all alike. In each stage, we are trying to move forward with our own rhythm and with our own pace. So phases symbolizes here all the life stories. So every phase, everyone has his own story to tell, his joys, his struggles, his dreams, his pain, and we can read those stories on their faces. Or you can say we can read the mood of that or the tone of the story from their faces. So, the peeping through life's windows, stories intervene, each with its purpose and with unique design. In every phase, a tale has to be told, a diverse, hostile world of both young and old. So many poetic devices have been used over here, metaphor, symbolism, imagery. So I have told while teaching. Then I would like to recap what we have learned from this poem. The poem highlights everyday life with a woman who is strong, ambitious woman who faces the fast pacing world, then demanding flow of life with hope, determination, and she will succeed because she has that ambition, she has that spirit to work hard and to conquer the world, the spirit to conquer the world. So the poem highlights everyday life. It is a tale of everyone, and it is a tale of a common people which we look around. Then the first we have seen the women who is working in the morning sun. Then childhood, the stage of a child. The second stanza celebrates youthful eagerness, hope, and the power of education. No, knowledge commands and the gates of knowledge. So he is ready to explore the world because he has to shape his destiny. So he is ready to explore the new avenues. It represents the beginning of the new journey. It represents the beginning of life's journey. Then the narrator talks, the poetess talk about adulthood, the jogger running, he is running through mist and fog, and it symbolizes the life struggles, the pursuits in adulthood. So this is the stage of chasing goals, dreams, carrying responsibilities, carrying dreams in your heart, and fight with the difficulties. It reflects discipline, endurance, and the constant chase for success. When you are young, you want to conquer the world, you want to achieve everything, whatever you dreamt of. So that is adulthood. Then the poetess talk about the old age. The old man, he is dragging himself in search of a place he calls home. It represents the final phase of life. So his journey is aimless because he has already finished with his dreams, his goals, his aspirations. So his aimless journey suggests the vulnerability, loneliness, and the search for ultimate rest or peace. At the end, when we look closely at the life and the people, we realize what everyone carries their own rhythm, they carries their own pace, they carries their own unique story to tell within a world that is both richly diverse. All the stories are different. Everybody's stories is different. The richly diverse and sometimes unkind as well. So it encourages empathy and understand feeling of others. So poet is here to learn the things, learn to empathize with the people. We should be able to understand the others' feelings, what their difficulties, what they are going through. So we should be able to empathize with the others. That is what the poetess wants to learn from this poem. These were the questions I wanted to put, but already we have come to know how she has written the poem and about the metaphors and the symbolism and all. So that's all. I have come to an end of my presentation. Thank you once again for giving me an opportunity to deal with this poem, and I hope I was able to do some justice with the poem. Thank you once again.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm audible. You can
Yes,
stop
ma'am.
Yes, you can stop your screen sharing. So thank you very much, ma'am, for your star-worthy presentation. And in a very short notice, you have accepted our invitation and delivered such a wonderful presentation, which served very useful and fruitful to our students. So thank you very much, ma'am. Uh, Dear students, tomorrow we will be listening to yet another eminent person with the same zeal and enthusiasm. So meet you tomorrow and have a good day. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, madam, for this opportunity. Thank you. Thank you once again.
Thank you.